Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be doing a tutorial on the how to solve for the four problems that you will, equations that you will see on your STAR test. These are the ones that are on the back of the reference material. All these examples will be done with the formula for speed. And I am doing the practice problems from the worksheet entitled Figuring Fastballs. So let's just get going. Example number 1. If Juan pitched a baseball 20 meters to home plate, the ball reached home plate in 0.5 seconds. What is the speed of the ball? So the first thing I want to do is figure out which two things they gave me. So it says he pitched the ball 20 meters. Well, I know meters is a distance. So I know I have some type of distance. Then the ball reached home plate in 0.5 seconds. So I know seconds is a time. Then it asked me what was the speed of the ball. So I have a D, a T, and an S. Since I know I have a D, a T, and an S, I'm going to look at my reference sheet, which is the back side, and I'm going to look for one of these formulas that has an S, a D, and a T. Well, that's this one, so it must mean I'm using the average speed formula. So since I'm using the average speed formula, I want to go back to the problem and I want to list what they give me. So I have 20 meters. That's my distance. So my distance equals 20 meters. They gave me a time of 0.5 seconds, and I'm looking for speed. So let's break it down. So this is essentially what I have. Now, I know that speed equals distance over time. And when I draw my triangle, I know that distance is on top, speed and time are on the bottom of my triangle. I'm looking for speed, so I'm left with D over T. Well, D over T in my equation is going to be 20 over 0.5. So more simply put, since distance is on top of my triangle here, that's the number that always goes in the house. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to put 20 inside the house, and then time is on the bottom, so it goes on the outside. 0.5. Okay. Now I know from math that I cannot divide my problem like this with this decimal here on the outside. So I need to move it over 1. And since I moved that over 1, this invisible decimal that I can't see also has to be moved over 1 space. So I have that. My decimal is now here, moves up over there. Okay? So now I'm doing 5 into 200, but I can break it down even smaller. I can do 5 into 20. So 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 5 is going to give me 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. Bring down this 0. 5 into 0 goes how many times? None. 0 times 5, again, is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. I'm left with nothing. So I should have gotten 40. Now I'm calculating speed. Speed is distance over time. So my unit of distance that they gave me was in meters. And then the unit of time they gave me was in seconds. So I should have 40 meters per second. So again, the answer to my first one led me to 20 meters per second. Don't forget that you must show your work on this. Okay, the second example I'm going to do is number 3. So here it is on the screen. I have Pete, who ran 30 meters to second base in 3 seconds. What is his speed? Okay, so let's break it down again. I have 30 meters. I know that's a distance. His time was in 3 seconds. They're asking me again for speed. So let's go back and look at my formula chart. Okay, here I am again. I have an S, a D, and a T, so I'm going to use this formula, which is average speed again. So according to my problem, Pete ran a distance of 30 meters in a time of 3 seconds, looking for his speed. So my triangle that I'm going to use is the average speed triangle. Distance always goes on top, speed and time are at the bottom. Okay, so now I want to do is figure out, or what I want to do is figure out what I'm looking for again. I'm going to cross off what I'm looking for, which is speed in this instant. I'm left with distance over time. And distance will always go inside the house because the D is always on top in the triangle. So my distance, 30. My time, 3. This should be one of those facts that you know automatically. You know that 3 into 3 is 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. 0. Bring down this 0. You're going to subtract them. 3 into 0, 0 times 3 is 0. So I'm left with 10, and I have to put a unit. Speed is distance over time. My unit of distance is in meters. My unit of time is seconds. So we should have come up with 10 meters per second. Alrighty, the last example I'm going to do is number 9. It's probably one of the little more difficult ones on there, but I want to go ahead and make sure I show you one where you're not just solving for speed. So it says at top speed, the cheetah can run 96 kilometers per hour or 27 meters per second. If a cheetah runs at this speed for 2 minutes or 120 seconds, how far would it travel? Well, there's 2 different ways you can do this one because it gives you 2 different units. The way I'm going to do it is the way it's in parentheses because we're going to measure a lot of speeds in meters per second, and a lot of times the time is going to, of course, be in seconds. So I'm going to use the numbers in the parentheses, those ones right there. So 27 meters per second, that's a speed. S equals 27 meters per second. And then for a time, I have 120 seconds. Okay? And then it asks me how far would I travel. So now I want to know the distance. Okay? I want to know the distance that I'm going. So this is what I'm left with, figuring out distance. I'm still using the same triangle because I still have the variables S, T, and D. D still goes on top. S and T are still at the bottom. But this time, I'm looking for this number here. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my distance. Okay, so I'm going to cross that one off. Now, S and T are side by side. In math, when you have 2 letters or 2 variables that are side by side, that means that you are multiplying. So, I'm going to multiply 120 times 27. This should be pretty easy, guys. Okay, I'm going to do 7 times 0 is 0. 2 times 7 is going to be 14. Carry my 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 7 plus 1 is going to be 8. It's a very ugly 8. I apologize. Then I'm going to do 2 times 0. 0. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times 1 is 2. 0, 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. It's going to give me 3. So I should have ended up with 3,240, but what's my unit? Well, if my speed unit is in meters, then this must mean that this is 3,240 meters. So that's the end of your tutorial. Remember that you only had to do the odd ones for homework, if that was the instruction that I gave you, or you might have had to do all of it. But hope this helped. Just feel free, this will be in Google Classroom for as long as you guys need it.